Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this is my review of Battlestar Galactica, Episode 10, The Magnificent Warriors. And I'll start with, a silly joke. The first time I saw this episode, the second time I saw it, I hadn't seen the movie The Magnificent Seven. So when it's called The Magnificent Warriors, I didn't realise the story was a bit of a pun on Magnificent Seven. No, I didn't know any better. So I thought the Magnificent Warriors were the Bore, these violent savages that destroy and steal things, yeah. How are they magnificent, yeah. I found out later, no, the Visitors, the Colonial Warriors. They're the Magnificent Warriors, yeah, so how wrong can you be, yeah. Okay, and at the beginning of each episode it says, there are those that believe that life here began out there, on the planet Kobol. And we have a mini narration at the end of each episode. Fleeing from the Cylon tyranny, the Battlestar Galactica on a great mission to find planet Earth. Yeah. So yes, it's if you're not familiar with the overall plot to find Earth, it makes. So the target audience is people that have seen lots of episodes and beginners, people that have just started watching the show. Yeah. Anyway, when I first saw this episode when I was 7, I had mixed feelings about it. I thought, where's the really cool space battles? Well, we do see some space battles, but only for like the first 8 minutes of the episode. And then it's all very earthbound. The whole story takes place down on a planet. But no. Over the years, I have warmed to it a bit. It's raised some interesting issues like, well, as I said, we see Cylon raiders attacking Colonial Vipers. It is the visual aid. Yes, a proper Cylon raider. And we have inside... a Cylon pilot there, yeah. And technically you need 3 Cylons to drive a raider, but what the hell, close enough. We've got a Cylon pilot there. And the wings open up like this. It looks more like the lasers of a Cylon, yeah, like that. And technically they're missiles, but yeah, you can pretend they're lasers as well. Now, but why do the wings open up? Why didn't it just look like this the whole time? Because the wings don't open up in the TV show, but the toy does. If you like, the toy does more than what it does in the actual show. Well, I'm guessing the reason the wings open up is because they were competing with Star Wars toys. The X-Wing, the wings open up, so we need something like that, to look cool, yeah. And I don't know if you can see them, but there's like these tiny wheels, so you can play with the toy as a ground vehicle as well. And again, that's not what the Cylon Raider does. Cylon Raiders can fly in space, and they can fly in an atmosphere on a planet as well. They have laser guns and they have laser bombs as well, yeah. Anyway, in the opening sequence, they shoot, at first they're shooting the Colonial Vipers, nothing unusual about that. But then later we see, no, they stop shooting the Vipers, and their main target is the agro ships, agricultural ships that carry lots and lots of food, yeah. And after they're quite satisfied, they've destroyed 2 of the agro ships, so there's only 1 left. Then after that, the Cylon Raiders, they retreat. Yeah, looking like flying saucers, like that. They retreat. And that's the last we see of them, well, for this episode, yeah, okay. And, the more observant of you, well, you don't have to be that observant to notice this, they use stock footage from the movie Silent Running. It's the exact same agro ships with the forests inside, the forest domes, yeah. The Hugh and Dewey film, yeah, Silent Running. They use the same footage from that to save money. And yeah, it is relevant to the story, yes, the theme of agro ships, yeah. And of course, Universal Studios own Galactica and they own Silent Running. And that's symbolic because John Dykstra worked on that film. And John Dykstra designed the special effects for this, yeah. So the people of Galactica are in trouble, yeah, because the Cylon fighters have destroyed their agro ships. The Galactica is going to have to find a place where there's food, yeah, or slow down, yeah. Yeah, there's 2 different ways you can destroy people, either blow them to bits or starve them, yeah. This sounds familiar. During World War II, the German bombers, sometimes, they'd attack military vehicles, but also sometimes they'd attack merchant ships that were carrying food to England to starve the enemy into surrender. Yeah, so that's what the Cylons are doing in this. Anyway, so they go to the agro ship, and the main man in charge says, it's not a question of repairing these crops, it's a question of recreating them. We need seed, lots of seed, to replant lots and lots of crops. Otherwise, the Battlestar Galactica and the 220 refugee ships are all going to starve, basically. So they find a planet called Sector. Not the best name for a planet, it sounds very similar to Sector. But they have a power unit, a big generator that creates lots of electricity, so it's worth a lot of money, to swap that for seed on the planet. Why don't they just pay for it with qubits? Well, because the people of Sector, they use a different currency, yeah. Anyway, and Cyrus Bellaby, she has the main power unit. It belongs to her, so rich lady, well off. And but she charges for it. Why does she charge for it? Why doesn't she just give it away for free? I mean, we're all going to starve, including her, yeah, but no, she wants something in return. She doesn't want money. No, she wants to go on a few dates with Commander Adama, because they're about the same age. So that's her price. Isn't that a bit creepy? Making someone date you, using blackmail to get someone to date you unless you give something in return. Well, it was the 70s, it was a different time, and it's done in a silly comedic way. And she's not a total stranger. No, Cyrus Bellaby is like an ex-girlfriend of Adama, so he knows her, yeah. But even so, I don't know if that kind of sort of would work now, blackmailing someone into going onto a few dates with you. But then afterwards, the other goodies, they say to Adama, oh, for heaven's sake, it's just a few dates, you know, that's all she's asking. Take one for the team, come on, you know, otherwise we're all going to starve. So they land on the planet, and this time they take Boxy and Muffet, the Daggett, with them, in the belief that it's perfectly safe there. It's not a dangerous planet. Blissfully unaware that it is. Then we learn a bit about the people of the planet Sector, on a town called Serenity. And some of the way they dress, the people on the planet, look a bit like Arabs, or the ancestors of Arabs. And some of them are a bit like medieval peasants, yeah. Anyway, the full moon is out, and the Borae are going to attack. Okay, what are the Borae? They're like humanoid savages. They have spears, and they ride camels and horses. And those creatures at the Earth's core, they look a bit like them, only uglier. The big pug-faced pig faces, you know, really ugly creatures, yeah. And they come and attack the town and steal lots of food or anything they can sell, anything of value, destroy things, yeah. And kidnap people now and again as well, yeah. They only have one lawman, the constable, and his job to get a gun out, stand in on the ground in the middle of the town, and basically threaten to attack them. How can one man do that against a whole army of them? Yeah, that's crazy, yeah. So in other words, if you become a constable, you're not going to last very long. You're going to end up dead quickly. But Bogan, the leader, he orders the constable to go and confront the enemy. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's cowardice, says the man that refuses to do any fighting himself, yeah. And so yes, they get through a lot of constables that wears the golden constable badge. And then after that, Adama, Cyrus Bellaby, and Boomer and Starbuck, they go to the town. And, basically, they're not wearing colonial warrior uniforms, just wearing regular clothes, because they don't want anyone to rat them out to the Cylons, yeah. And they ask if they can swap the power unit for lots of seed. They're going like a land ram, although I say land ram, it doesn't have a roof. Anyway, a vehicle to carry it. And they don't want to trade, yeah, so they leave. And then they're robbed by a load of muggers that are working for Bogan. So they've been robbed, the power unit has been stolen. They come back, Starbuck does some gambling, and he wins lots and lots of money. He's a good card player, good gambler. And he wins the constable badge. And then by law, he is now the constable. It doesn't matter how you acquire it. If you accept ownership of it, you've officially become the constable. And Adama gives him a big telling off. How could you be so stupid, you know? And then after that, the colonial warriors, the Borae attack again, and they fire laser guns at them. Yeah, they stand up to them, basically. And then after that, the Borae, they kidnap Cyrus Bellaby, and off they go. And Bogan gets a conscience late in the game. He feels guilty about using and exploiting these people and says, you are true warriors. I've never seen anyone stand up to those creatures, yeah. And they tell him how to find them and everything and all that. He's very impressed with their courage. Oh, you're going to help us rescue the woman? Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. I'll leave you to do all that. Oh, very brave of him, yeah. Anyway, they managed to negotiate with the Borae first. Adama tries to negotiate. And then he comes back and says, the leader of the Borae, he's the most selfish, most inconsiderate person ever. So lazy, won't lift a finger. Won't do any work at all, just orders other people to do work for him, yeah. And then Starbuck says, wait a minute. The Bore leader is lazy, never likes doing any work. We can turn that to our advantage, yeah. So they rescue Cyrus Bellaby, and this is the plan. They've made the Bore leader the constable. Well, how does that help? Well, because the constable, his job is to stand up to the Bore and stop them attacking the town. But they won't attack him because he's their leader, so they'll leave him alone and therefore leave the town alone. Oh, okay, so happy ending. And it means that the Bore leader, well, he just gets weighted on hand and foot, gets lots of alcohol, lots of food, just gets treated like a king, yeah. Yeah, okay, well, what happens to the other Bore? Well, as long as they don't attack that town, that's the big picture. Cyrus Bellaby is not impressed with Adama. He didn't do anything to rescue her, he just did negotiations that didn't go very well. It was Starbuck that really rescued her, coming up with the plan, yeah. So she says to Adama, I've outgrown you now, I don't think you're that amazing. I need a wild child, a really exciting man who can do lots of amazing things, yeah. So Adama didn't particularly fancy her anyway, so he doesn't need to let her down gently because she's moved on. She's had enough of him, yeah. So yes, happy ending, just one slight problem. The Battlestar Galactica and the fleet of refugees, why don't some of them go and live on the planet Sector? I mean, I know, yes, their primary goal is to get to Earth, but not all of them, but some of the crew go and live on Sector. There's no Cylons there, so they want to be on a place that's safe from Cylons. Why don't some of them go and live there? But no, that issue isn't discussed, yeah. And, oh yes, we learn a bit of their words they use. They say centoms and microns, and they use the word yarns. Yarns means years. When Cyrus Bellaby, she quite fancies Starbuck and says, oh, if only I was a few yarns younger for you, yeah. So not the best episode, but yes, it does have, yeah, it's something a bit different. Yes, the Cylons come up with new ideas to beat the Galactica, and yeah, something a bit more subtle, destroy their food as opposed to destroying all their fighter ships, yeah. So yes, it is an enjoyable film, and yes, the Bore got an action figure, so yeah, that's a big deal, yeah. And I suppose the footage of the aggro ships, that's sort of symbolic. Yes, folks, this is from the people that brought you Silent Running as well, yeah. Okay, that's enough from me. Thank you for watching. I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.